Okay, question 1 says solve for the diminishing proportions. 3 over 15 equals 2 over m. So one way to do this is the butterfly method. To do the butterfly method, you take the two numbers that are diagonal from each other to be 2 and 15, and you times them. So it'd be 2 times 15, and then you divide by the number that's not diagonal. So that'd be divided by 3. 2 times 15 divided by 3 is 10. We have the exact same thing going on over on this side. So right here, we're going to times these two numbers, 45 and 32. So I do 45 times 32, because they're diagonal from each other. And then I divide by the other numbers. The other number is 24, so I do divided by 24. And that would give me, type it in my calculator really fast, 45 times 32 divided by 24 is 60. And that is the basics of proportions. Okay, let's scan down to the next one. We have explain why each graph is proportional or not. To be a proportional graph, it has to be a straight line through 0, 0. So this graph would not be proportional because if we look right here at this point, it doesn't go through 0. So because this point's not at 0, it's not proportional. This graph, however, is a straight line, and it starts right here at 0, which means, yes, it would be proportional. Proportional graphs are straight lines going through 0. Okay, explain why the tables are proportional or not. On this one, it's a little harder. You can divide every number, divide y divided by x. So I'm going to just add another column, and let's say 10 divided by 5 is 2. 20 divided by 10 is 2. 30 divided by 15 is 2. Hey, look, they're all 2. Therefore, yes, it is proportional. Okay, I'm going to do the same thing over here on this one. I'm going to just add another column to the right. 7 divided by 1 is 7. 9 divided by 3 is 3. 11 divided by 5 is 2.2. They are not equal to each other. So because these numbers, y divided by x, is not equal to each other, this is not proportional. Use the equation to fill in the table y equals 2x. I'm going to replace the variable with the number. So, right here, just jump this over. This is y equals 2x. So I'm going to say, replace the x with the 0. 2 times 0. What is 2 times 0? 2 times 0 is 0. Then I'm going to replace the x with the 1. 2 times 1 is 2. Replace the x with the 2. 2 times 2 is 4. Do the same thing over here. I'm just going to add one more column. And I'm going to replace the x with whatever this number is right here in that first column. So this would be 3 times 0 plus 5. Excuse me, I said 0 and type 5. 3 times 0 plus 5 is 0 plus 5, which is 5. 3, replace the x with the 1, times 1 plus 5. 3 times 1 is 3. 3 plus 5 is 8. 3 times 2 plus 5. 3 times 2 is 6. 6 plus 5 is 11. Find the constant of proportionality from these tables. So the constant of proportionality is always equal to y divided by x. So we can do the same thing that we did up above, where we just take y divided by x. So 50 divided by 10 is 5. 100 divided by 20 is 5. 150 divided by 30 is 5. Constant proportionality is 5. Same thing here. 21 divided by 21 divided by 7 is 3. 27 divided by 9 is 3. 45 divided by 15 is 3. So the constant of proportionality is 3. You just do y divided by x to find the constant of proportionality. Hey, you just do y divided by x to find the constant of proportionality. So here, we can take, look at this point right here. See that point right there? That would be the point 294. So I could say 94 divided by 2. Or I could pick this point right here and do 470 divided by 10, or 376 divided by 8. I could really pick any point on the graph. All of them, no matter what I pick, is going to give me 47. This one here, picking a point. This point here, 24 divided by 2 is 12. 48 divided by 4 is 12. 72 divided by 6 is 12. 96 divided by 8 is 12. 120 divided by 10 is 12. Constant proportionality is definitely 12. Okay. Create a proportional equation from the graph. So for proportional equation, we're going to do the same thing we're just doing. We find the constant proportionality, but then we're going to write it as an equation. So for this one, I would say y equals, and then find the constant proportionality. 30 divided by 5 is 6, 60 divided by 10 is 6, 90 divided by 15 is 6. 6 is the constant proportionality, x. And that's my equation, y equals 6x. This one here, y equals, what's my constant proportionality? Y divided by x, 20 divided by 2 is 10x. And again, I could do 40 divided by 4, 60 divided by 6 as well. Y equals constant proportionality of x will give me the equation each time. Determine the constant proportionality from the story. Bob orders 14 pizzas which have 112 slices. What is the constant proportionality of slices per pizza? And it tells you slices per pizza. So you do slices, let's do it over here, slices divided by pizzas. 112 divided by 14 is 8. Constant proportionality is 8. A bag of M&Ms has 8 greens for every 2 reds. What is the constant proportionality of green to red? 8 divided by 2, 4. Use the table to solve the proportions. Currently, about 2 out of every 9 students in Utah COVID tests in Utah come back positive. If 8,100 people got tested yesterday, how many cases were positive? So this is what I'm going to set up like that very first problem we did on the homework. And I'm going to say line equals line. So we know that 2 out of 9 come back positive, and 8,100 got tested, so that's coming on the bottom because 9 how many tests? There's the x. And then we just times diagonally. So 2 times 8,100 and divide by the other number, divided by 9. And that would be 1,800. And 1 out of 10 students is in quarantine. You can tell this is a little outdated of a question, but if 1 out of 10 students is in quarantine, we'd say 1 out of 10 is in quarantine, and 12 are in quarantine. So that one, the 12 is coming on the top, because there's 12 in quarantine, 1 out of 10 is in quarantine. And the bottom would be your x. So then I do 12 times 10 is 120, divided by 1, there's 120 students. That was 12 times 10 divided by 1 is where that 120 came from. Create a proportional equation from the following table. Again, you're going to do the y divided by x. 12 divided by 1 is 12. 36 divided by 3 is 12. What is my constant proportionality? 12. So my equation, y equals 12x. This one, we're going to do the same thing, y divided by x. The y is always on the bottom. So 75 divided by 1 is 75. 150 divided by 2 is 75. 225 divided by 3 is 75. So my equation would be y equals 75x. And that is how you do proportions.